What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about FLOKI Inu today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It is the 4th day of October. Here we are at about 0.0001 with 1 day and 8.5 hours left in this week. Before we get into the charts, I do want to read a little bit of this article here that FLOKI has its first ETP in Europe by Valor, which is pretty interesting stuff, right? FLOKI, by the way, the market cap for FLOKI is at about $960 million. So there's a lot of room to grow. It reminds me of Dogecoin, right? Last cycle, if we obviously it reminds me of Dogecoin, but if we look at last cycle, Doge, by the time Elon Musk started talking about it, it wasn't by the time he started talking about it, but when he really ramped up talking about it, it was like right here. And at this point in time, Dogecoin was at like a $900 million market cap. And then we just skyrocketed overnight. I mean, look at how crazy this move was from the beginning, from the lows of that week to the highs of the next week. You did a 12x, and most of that happened in like a 24-hour period. It was crazy. It was amazing to watch. Most of that happened again from this day to that day, and this move actually happened in the later half of this day and the beginning half of this day. So even though it's on 2 different days, it really was in like a 24-hour period that you saw this 10x move. It was miraculous. It was crazy. It's bananas. And Dogecoin was at $900 million at that low there. FLOKI's at that same valuation at this price, and you look poised. You look very poised overall to break out to the upside. It looks like you're in a giant consolidation phase, a multi-cycle consolidation phase. I wouldn't be surprised at all if FLOKI saw new all-time highs, especially with something like this. Now, what I will say is that ETFs, ETPs, typically, when I say typically, almost always, they imply a little bit of selling off that happens, right? Because you have institutions buying, acquiring your token, your asset, your commodity, whatever it is, and then the ETF launches, they're no longer acquiring it. So you have this institution who's a very big player in the space acquiring something, and then that buying power goes away because now it turns into selling power because they're selling to their constituents and or customers. It tends to move the price down. It tends to. And then people buy ahead of time assuming that this will be good news, and then they sell on the good news because it's priced in, whatever. FLOKI didn't really make too big of a move up, though. I mean, we're up 20% this week, which is nice, but that all happened like at the same time as this news being announced. So clearly there was some buying before the news got announced, but still, not that big of a move. Perhaps you're saved of going down too much, but I will say, I mean, looking at today, right, big wick to the upside there, you're probably going to come down. Probably going to come down, right? Lower highs, you're probably going to come down a little bit, and that's fine. Don't be afraid if FLOKI comes back down to 4086. It's fine. It might find support here. I don't know. We'll get into the charts and look at that in a second, but what to know? FLOKI's price, who cares? The ETP developed by Valor Valor allows, that makes me think of Futurama, Valor, Zap Bradley, allows retail and institutional investors to gain exposure. You guys, Futurama is so underrated. It's like the best. Anyways, allows retail and institutional investors to gain exposure to FLOKI without directly holding. Yes. The launch coincides with renewed momentum in BNB chain projects. BNB itself, yeah, that's probably valid. That's probably a good time to launch it, honestly, because BNB projects, Binance Smart Chain projects, are definitely on the up and up right now. Let's see. Launched yesterday, Sweden's spotlight stock market, making FLOKI the first BNB chain ecosystem token. That's historic, man. That's historic for BNB too. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Let's get into the charts now, okay? We'll get into the charts. By the way, just what they were talking about in that article there. Look at how many of these tokens are BNB coins. Look at the plethora of BNB. It used to just be Solana. Now you got some BNBs, some bases, some Solanas. Anyways, FLOKI, 0.0001 right now. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame and then we'll zoom out from there. Okay, 1 hour time frame. Very solid move up. I want to look at you with some volume. Should we do Binance? Let's do Binance. No volume. What gives? Where's the volume? Hit me. There we go. Yeah, you had a lot of volume on the way up. There's a little bit of selling off, but volume's dying off as you're moving down. That's a good sign. You probably don't progress too much lower. I mean, this really could be your low. Let's see. Oh, man, you're getting close. Yeah, I would think one of two things. Okay, one, this is your low right here at 4099. That's your low on the dot, no questions asked. Maybe if not right on the dot, maybe you wick a little bit below it, but still right in this area. That's the spot. Okay, or two, you go all the way back down to about 409, 4087, somewhere in that area, and then you bounce. Golden ratio, high or low, continue to rally, doesn't matter. Okay. So the difference there being that, from here, from that first area of significance, it's about a 1% drop versus about a 10% drop, 12% drop. Now, that's something to keep in mind when we talk about what we're about to talk about next, which is how high are we going to go? A 1% drop to a 12% drop, is it worth buying here? Is it worth waiting to see what might happen and then buying at other prices in comparison to the growth that's about to happen? Let's go over that. Hold on. RSI is bullish overall. Stochastics are in an area where you'd expect to bounce, and the MACD is bullish overall as well. 4-hour time frame. RSI is very bullish. Stochastics are bullish as well. You have lower lows with higher lows, and the price is hidden bullish divergence. The MACD is immaculate, actually. It's immaculate D right there. That sounded right. High to low here. And we're going to take this low, not the fake out low. Look at that, coming back down to the golden ratio too at 4097. Something in this area is definitely going to hold, guys. I would expect you do hold this area of support. I don't think that you go all the way down there. But even if you do, it's okay. When you do move up higher, the minimum target from here is about a 21% growth to a 36% area. Then the secondary target would be about a 50% move to about a 93% move. So in contrast to that 1 to 12% drop, even at a minimum, I would say it's worth it. I think at this point in time, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, I think it's worth buying here, honestly. FLOKI right now. Looking at the daily indicators. Daily stochastics. A little bit of volatility here, whatever. You came up and now you're coming down. That's okay. That's okay because you've just had such a... I actually don't know why you're coming down. If your day is green today, why are the stochastics coming down? You're just not green enough, apparently. RSI is looking bullish, and the MACD is also looking bullish as well. So a little bit of turbulence on the stochastics, but I'm not worried about that. We've seen turbulence before, right before the big move happens. I actually want to zoom out. Let's see how big of a move this is going to be. Because again, and on this note, we don't actually need volume, so let's just go to the all-time history. On this note here, from a high to a low, we're going to be breaking out of this overall lifelong consolidation phase. We're going to be breaking out of it. Okay, we held up really well back here. I remember saying I don't think FLOKI's long for this world, but man, now I think there is a new light, especially with BNB chain becoming a hot kind of topic, a hot commodity in the crypto space. I would think that FLOKI leading the way with the first ETP on that chain, that could definitely set the stage for this thing to rally. I wouldn't be surprised in the least. You guys, what if we saw the exact same move? What if this thing ripped like this, just like Dogecoin did, right? Just like Dogecoin did, a 10x. The first target area is at 0.0011. It's about a 10, almost an 11x move from here. And with how this thing likes to move, it moves pretty damn fast. Being at a $900 million market cap, that puts you at about a $10 billion market cap at the high. I mean, crazier things have happened in this world, man. And beyond all that, regardless of if that happens at a 24-hour switch, if it takes 4 weeks to get up there, that is your next target. Undoubtedly, it's your next target because you've found resistance at the golden ratio, support down here, up at the 786, 886, 100 area. You consolidated, found support at the golden ratio. When you move back to this area here that you found turbulence in, you're not going to stop there. You're going higher. You are going higher. Hold on. I got to sneeze. Please sneeze. I want to sneeze. It won't happen. Oh. Okay, whatever. It's this light. This bright light's getting me, man. I feel like bright light takes away your sneezes. I don't know if anybody knows what I mean, but that's just the thing. Anyways, yes, very much so. 0.0011 is the next target area. And then the golden ratio is all the way up there. That's a 47x. I'm not saying Toshi's going to see, FLOKI. I'm not saying FLOKI's going to see that. But if we do see a 47x overall, 48x overall, that is your golden ratio. and that would put FLOKI at about the same valuation that Shiba Inu achieved last cycle. And while a 47x is not the most that crypto has to offer, that's still pretty damn awesome. That's pretty good stuff. I would expect FLOKI at a minimum by the end of this cycle sees 0.0021, and it very well could hit this. And here's the thought, okay? FLOKI gained its popularity the same way Shiba Inu did, right? It's a Dogecoin meme. It's a meme of a meme, Dogecoin, right? It's all inspired by Dogecoin. So I want to propose a thought. Beyond all the other reasons that we've addressed for why FLOKI might pump, what about when, not if, but when, Dogecoin pumps? What about when, man, I have to zoom way the hell out because we're on the daily time frame. Wow, far, far away. What about when we see new all-time highs? What about when Dogecoin's at $4? Right? Whenever Dogecoin's worth multiple hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap, you need to wrap your head around that because that's going to happen. It's going to happen this cycle. It's going to be worth like 600 billion in market cap by the end of the cycle. I've been calling for that since 2022. When that happens, what's going to happen with FLOKI? We're going to look at FLOKI and we're going to say, it's at a $47 billion market cap. I guess it could go higher, right? Dogecoin's at a $600 billion market cap. It's all the way up at $4. FLOKI could go higher. Maybe, I'm not saying that it has to, I'm just saying maybe you do get 100x. Maybe you get more than that. I don't know. Maybe you do go all the way up to 1 cent and you see a market cap yourself that's over $100 billion. I doubt that you go higher than these levels here. I doubt that we see a multi-$100 billion FLOKI, but I'm open to the idea of going to 1 cent and beyond. Certainly under the belief that we'll achieve 20% of a cent, that's $0.002 and beyond by the end of the cycle. So is FLOKI a good investment here? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Depends on what you mean by investment. If you mean in the next 6 to 9 months are you going to sell, then yes. If you mean 8 to 10 years, I don't know. Maybe. It's got an ETP. That doesn't mean everything. But anyways, I got nothing else to say, guys. Things look very bullish. If you're asking me, is it a good time to buy? I would say hell yeah, it's a good time to buy. Weekly indicators look great. You're about to rip above the zero on the MACD. It's phenomenal. You literally had a cross down. You crossed red real quick right here, real brief, and now you're back to crossing green. You touched tips. It's beautiful. We love it when the MACD does that because it's typically a very bullish implication. You bounce right off the oversold zone, and the RSI looks bullish. FLOKI's getting ready for something fierce. I wouldn't be surprised if the coming weeks it stole some spotlight. But don't expect it to be the spotlight stealer for the whole damn cycle. Might have to put some money into FLOKI, right? Put some money into FLOKI, let it do a 10x, and then rotate that into other cryptos that haven't done a 10x yet. I don't know. Anyways, hit the like button, subscribe. Not financial advice, just thoughts. Take care. Bye.